It is awesome to be with the fifth-year head coach of the UNCW Seahawks, Takeo Siddle. We just got a nice tour of the locker room, little 2K action, guys getting ready for practice. Coach, you are 72-29 over the last 3 seasons. 20-plus win campaigns, not easy to do. You guys have made it consistent. How does that happen?
Well, I got to give credit to our administration for providing all the resources that they have for us, and then our players. They deserve a lot of credit. You know, the players that we've been able to recruit, retain. We've built a really strong culture here, and this is a place I always tell recruits, this is not for everybody because we do things a different way. You know, we like to recruit high character, talented young men who are about business, on and off the court. So we've been blessed with young men like that, and I think our product on the court, you know, we've changed our style up a little bit over the course of the last 3 years. We've adjusted to our roster, but our guys have been able to, you know, retain the things that we talk about, and they've been able to go out and apply it on the court. And we feel like we play a championship level of basketball.
In today's climate, the transfer portal is obviously part of the equation. We'll get to that in a moment. But I want to pay respect to the guys who are back for this team, and guys that, as we were talking before we sat down, have developed and evolved in your system. Guys like Donovan Newby, Kamari McGriff, Noah Ross, Nolan Hodge. What have those guys meant and beyond to what you're trying to do?
Everything, John, to be honest with you. We were talking about this in a staff meeting earlier. This thing doesn't work the way it's been working over the last 4 months. When I think back to the summer, it doesn't work the way it's been working if it wasn't for those guys. They know our culture, they know me, they know what we're about here, and they've welcomed the new guys with open arms. They've showed them the way, how we do things, my expectations, our standards, and you know, those guys have been tremendous.
Now let's look at this offseason heading into 2024-25. When you're looking at what you want to grow as a program and to become what you strive to be, CAA champions, regular season tournament, and to go dancing, what did your staff prioritize?
We knew we had to upgrade our talent. You know, I thought that was pretty obvious. We had some really good players last year, but you know, the guys who stood out, Trezarian White and Shaquem, they were our go-to guys, and we were inconsistent at best, you know, from them down. And we knew we had to upgrade our talent. And then we knew we had to upgrade just our mentality. You know, guys coming in the building, only worrying about winning. That was important. And so that's where when we went recruiting in the portal, we wanted to make sure we brought those type of guys in.
Size, something that I know you're looking at, and you brought in somebody from Niagara, Harlan Obioha, who looks like he's going to be a big piece for this team.
Yeah, he's different than anybody that I've ever coached. You know, the most similar guy that I've coached to Harlan is probably Omer Yurtseven at NC State. But even, you know, they're similar in size, different in their skill set. But Harlan is a different type of player, somebody that we can throw the ball inside to, and we need to focus on getting him the basketball. He's a big-time communicator on defense, and he is going to be a crowd favorite because he plays with so much passion.
And it goes beyond him because you bring in a couple of other players. Bo Montgomery comes to mind, Elijah Jameson, Josh Corbin as well. You have been able to bring in some really interesting pieces to this team. When you think about the rest of the newcomers, how would you describe what they're bringing to the table?
Well, we like to call them ball guards, guys who we don't have to run plays for. They can just break it off and go get their own. And, you know, with Bo and Elijah, those two guys can go get their own. And, you know, I thought back to my 2022 team where we won a championship, and we had elite guard play, and we had older guards. And so they were must-gets. And then you add Joshua Corbin in there, and he's an elite shooter. He's an elite shooter. I thought KJ could shoot the ball. KJ Jenkins, I thought he could shoot it well.
Yeah.
But Joshua was on another level than KJ, and he can do a lot more on the court than just shoot. He's a high-level leader. If you look at his assist-turnover ratio, he had upwards of 90 assists last year, and so those three guys will really help our team.
Turn the microwave on for Corbin.
That's right.
Sounds like that's going to be happening
right.
inside Trask Coliseum. Are we ready to watch some film?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Let's go to the movies.
All right, so John, what we put together is just kind of what the season is all about. Being able to bounce back from a loss, and handle the ups and downs, peaks and valleys of the season. So we wanted to watch this East Carolina game that led to probably our biggest win in school history, which is beating Kentucky. So
At Rupp.
At Rupp.
Impressive. Here we go.
So we started off. Obviously, we're up right here, and I don't know if do we have the volume on? So what I was trying to prepare my guys for in this game and shoot around is we took an easel pad in the middle of the floor, and I just kind of showed them, tried to prepare them for what was going to come. This is a rivalry game for us, and they had their students back here near our bench, and we knew it was going to get loud in there, and we knew we were going to have to be able to handle them going on a run.
Right.
And as we watched throughout the game, we just didn't handle it the right way. We didn't handle the hostile environment the right way. We couldn't get stops. We couldn't execute on the other end of the floor. They out-toughed us.
Tough shot.
Tough shot. We just did not respond well when things got bad for us. It just kept snowballing.
And so when that happens and they get a win at home, which I'm sure in front of their fans, their expectation was, let's get a win. Your expectation is to win every time.
Right.
How do you go about those teaching moments in the time between that and then when you're going to Kentucky?
Well, it was, I learned this when over the course of these 5 years of being a head coach, you don't want to have emotional reactions, right? So I just wanted to allow myself some time to calm down, put things in perspective. We have a long season left. The most important thing after, letting my emotions calm down a little bit was making sure that we got our guys ready for the next opponent. And so that's what we did. We let them got to the hotel, let them get some rest. And we came in the next morning, and instead of having one of those, I like to call them one of those tough love film sessions, it was more of a, come to Jesus, a softer approach. Hey, this is what happened. It's going to happen here again tomorrow, so we have to get ready to handle it in a better way, and we did.
Reed Shepherd, Rob Dillingham, Zvonimir Ivisic. We can go on and on about the talent that Kentucky had on paper. Games aren't decided on paper. They're decided on the hardwood.
That's right.
Most times teams are going to get up for Kentucky, Kansas, who you'll play this year, making your first trip to Allen Fieldhouse, Duke, North Carolina. But when you went into the Kentucky game, strategically, before we watched this film, what was the game plan that ended up coming to fruition in the game?
Well, let's rewind back to shoot around. Okay. Going in, I knew it would be a wow factor for some of my guys, Right. And that's something I learned from Kevin Keats, when we used to go play UNC, when I was at NC State. They're so enamored with all the banners and, that the Kentucky blue, it pops. It's a big 19,000, 20,000 seat arena. So I wanted to make sure that when we walked in that arena, that we came there to win. Yeah. Okay? All right. Good for them. They've won all these national championships. All that's great. But let's make sure that when we walk in here, we're not enamored with all of this and we're coming in here to get a win. So that was the first thing that we had to do. on game day.
Almost a Norman Dale Hoosiers. The hoops are the same size. Everything's still the same.
Right.
It's 94 feet.
Right. 94 feet. So the mentality part of it is everything, you know. Hey, we're going to win this game. Nobody thinks we're going to win but us. So just building their mentality up to making them believe that. And, you know, that whole day, the lead up to it was getting them prepared for that. And, you know, the game plan was simply to go in there and, you know, just be resilient. They're going to make their runs. We're going to make our runs. And then when it gets to winning time, they have a bunch of young guys over there on that other side. So if the game is tight, this is when our experience is going to kick in. And as you watch it, that's exactly what happened.
Let's see the film. Okay.
Got off to a great start. You know, we were exchanging punches. We threw the first blow, threw a couple haymakers and late in the first half. But we were resilient. You know, I thought we out-toughed them. You know, we were first to the floor right here. You know, we dominated the effort plays, which is one of our standards. Everybody was together. We were extremely connected throughout the game.
You know, when you're making those effort plays, and that's something that's you've always taken pride in with your program, and then you get a hot shooter on the other end of the floor, and who knows what can happen.
Absolutely. But I always talk to the guys about you have to bring your toughness with you. You have to be the most competitive team. If you don't have those two things, then you won't be in a winning position.
It's one thing for shots to be falling, but if you don't have the other piece of the puzzle, it doesn't matter a whole lot in the final result in the game.
It doesn't matter. So that's what we harp on, and you'll see that as we practice.
And you came out guns a-blazing from three.
We did. And then the ECU game, we only hit three, and we missed a ton of wide open ones. So I knew that wasn't going to happen again.
But from what I'm gathering, and it's just, there's another one, that is a tough shot in your eye hole here, up 8 at the half, is that against ECU, yes, you only made 3 shots, but what I'm gathering is that's not why you lost the game. It was mentality and response. Right. In this game, yes, more shots fell, but that's because of all those other little things in place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's correct. Just things that we harp on in the preseason, John, things that we harp on a daily basis, let's never get away from that. And in the East Carolina game, we got away from it. So we wanted to reel them back in and help them understand why we were 5-2 and one of the better mid-majors in the country.
What'd you say in the locker room at the break?
Well, I don't know if it plays right here, but I grabbed a couple of my older guys before they walked back to the locker room, the guys that were our leaders and had, they have bigger voices on the team. I wanted to grab them and say, hey, look, great half, but it's going to be 0-0 when we come out here. The things that we did well, we have to continue to do that, but we have to up it because they're going to be ready for it. And then the things that we didn't do so well, we have to make sure we clean that up because it's going to be a dogfight in the second half because he's over there in the locker room going off on them.
Right.
So let's make sure we're ready to exceed their intensity.
Let's get to that second half. There you are, obviously happy with your team.
So I'm telling them right there to go, go pump each other up.
Because you've had upset bids in your career where, hey, you're 20 minutes down, hey, let's just do 20 more of that. But it's not that simple.
It's not that simple because they're competitors too, and he's going to have them ready to play. Second half started. We knew they would come out and be more aggressive, be more intentional and more forceful with what they were doing. And they, later on in the half, they took the lead. Mm-hmm. And we bounced back, and we were just very resilient in this game.
Phillips just so tough.
Yeah, we're going to miss him. He's a UNCW guy.
Yes, he is.
Through and through.
Lunch pail,
come to work. No issues.
All those values that you list.
All the values.
So they get going here. They take the lead, and it's early in the second half.
Yep, and we're making mistakes, and they made us pay for them, which is what really good teams do. Going into this timeout, we wanted to settle down and understand, okay, here it is. We're in a position, crowd's involved in it. Same thing that happened 2 days ago at East Carolina. Calm down. Let's go out here. Let's get a great shot, and let's start guarding the way that we're capable of, and let's quieten them up a little bit.
And that building is loud.
It's very loud.
It gets going, And they are faithful to their Wildcats. There's no question.
That atmosphere, along with Arkansas's atmosphere, are two of the most impressive atmospheres that I've ever been in.
It might be an atmosphere when they play this year.
Yeah. So
nice driving kick.
Resilient. You know, they made a little run. We bounced back.
A little Gardner-Webb credit there for you.
That was 2007, man. How about that?
Tell me about that day.
That was special. You know, I guess at the time you really don't think about it too much, but you know, you look back at it now, it was a very significant moment. One of the best memories I've had, for sure. Much better as a coach than a player, though. It was much better
to watch your kids.
Yeah, just watch them celebrate and have so much joy, and make the same memory that I was able to make.
Right. One and the same there. 3-point game here. You're down 3.
Down 3.
And again, up 8 at the half. 11-point swing.
Right. So we're making mistakes here, John. You know, we're making mistakes. We're supposed to be switching this. Okay, we're supposed to be switching this or communicating. He slipped out of it early, so Shaquem probably should have stayed, but we had no communication. If we had cell phones, they probably would have communicated better, right?
Or 2K.
Right. And Reed Shepard, obviously, he's a special talent.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's a tough shot.
That's not a good shot.
No.
Right? That's not a good shot, especially when you need a great one.
Right. Guys feel like they had to get it back all in one possession, but a nice offensive rebound.
Offensive rebound.
Trezarian White.
Settled everybody back down, and then another one.
Yeah, that's just guts. That's what he can do.
So just having the will to win. So now we're back in a good position. Ran a little ISO right here that we call Warrior, Detroit Warrior, to get him a little clear out, double gap, and players just making plays really.
You get him going downhill from there.
Yeah, to his right hand. Yeah. It's tough. Same thing. We ran a little Iverson over the top. Get him
in a position.
Baseline drive.
And that help comes a step too late, and there you got a bucket.
So now we're back up 4 with 5 left. And they were really good in transition, so we tried to stay away from those type of unbalanced finishes to where they were falling.
Right. Because then they get here.
They get going, yeah. And how about that finish?
Well, that's why he was the first American taken in the NBA draft.
And I honestly wasn't surprised. He's just an efficient basketball player.
No timeout here. You're letting things play out. 5 minutes. Actually, then you jump in here.
Oh, I think we had a little.
Hit a 3.
Yeah, we had a botch right there in our half-court execution. So we should be communicating this White, which is our switch call.
That's just tough.
See, I thought they would do a little bit more of that when they figured out we were switching, trying to drive us and post us, but they just didn't.
Right there they did.
And so now we're 3:20 left, trading blows with them.
At this point, are you even looking at the clock?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't. I was telling them not to look at the clock.
Right, but you are.
Right, I'm looking at it. You know, we get in like the stall-out mode a little bit.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You wrestle with playing not to lose versus just going for it and winning the game. But sometimes that backfires too. You got to stay committed to what got you there, right?
Right. Be aggressive. Let's get the best shot that we can get. I'll take it whenever we can get it. Right? Yeah. And so this is simply just players making plays. Like, this is a tough shot. And you need guys like this. You don't have to run plays for them.
That's ridiculous.
You need guys like that.
And in the face, that is just sensational.
So the guys made plays.
Yeah, but 3 minutes had to feel like 30 here for you.
It did. Even the
and
last,
it probably went that long.
It did. Even like the last 17 seconds, man. I'm over there sweating. And these guys are talking crap to me the whole time.
And you're down to 1 timeout.
Right.
To their 3. With 3, Phillips, just a dog.
Yeah. So, obviously, if you just look, we're just trying to keep the ball in his hands and space the floor out. Try to create a little ghost out situation right here.
How many times did you just do this with him and feel confident that he would make the right play?
Every time, to be honest with you. They deemed him shot time for a reason, right? So we're just trying to create a little confusion here, right?
Yep.
Just to give him an angle to get downhill. And he's elite at that.
That is outstanding.
He's
I mean,
elite
that's pro level play right
Yeah.
there from a guard.
Same thing right here, one-on-one play.
It's going to get you paid. That's ridiculous.
Right. So
It's ridiculous.
I'm still nervous right here.
3.3.
There's no way that they
That's
can beat us,
3.3.
but
No,
I'm still nervous.
You're nervous. But defensively there down the stretch, how pleased were you with the way you defended?
Very pleased. And you know, more than that, I was pleased with how we rebounded the basketball to finish the possession off because we had been struggling with that leading up to the game. But yeah, that was a great celebration right there.
Yeah, what was that like then in the locker room?
It was it felt like a swimming pool. It felt like I jumped in a cold swimming pool because they showered me with water bottles. Yeah, the special thing about it is, we had a bunch of our donors fly down with us, so we were able to celebrate that win with them. To see them get emotional because a lot of our donors are UNCW alums,
Right.
and for them, this was the most memorable win in their since they've been affiliated with the program.
And how about
too.
that embrace?
It was great. And you spent some time with Donovan. He's one of a kind. He came here with 3 years left. He came here from UW Milwaukee, and he's embraced our culture. He's embraced our coaching staff, what we're about. And he is everything that we want our players to be about. Takes care of his business off the court. He's up at 6 a.m. getting his workout in. He's getting 2-3 workouts in a day. Yes, sir. No, sir. You don't have to worry about him.
No.
And I know he's going to compete like crazy when we get out on the court.
Yep.
But that was special for those guys,
What a win. Just an extraordinary moment
Right.
for your program. And what I appreciate is that you're willing to play the blue blood program. You're willing to play that type of team in that type of game. Not everybody's going to be willing to sign up for that. You were.
Right. So do you know the history on Cal's affiliation with UNCW? He played here for 1 year, and then, while he was here, he has a bunch of friends that still live here, and so that was it took us about a month to get that contract in hand so we could sign it really quick, but it was from the help of some of his friends that still lived in Wilmington, and then me and Cal had a few conversations, and we were able to get it done.
That is awesome and
Yeah.
lives on in UNCW history forever.
It does.
Now, let's bring it back here.
Okay.
Because outside this film room, you get an atmosphere on Saturdays, on Thursdays, on Mondays, whenever it may be, that is one of the best in the country. What does the Trask Coliseum atmosphere mean to you?
It means everything, to be honest with you, John. When you pull up to Trask I like to get here about 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and you see students wrapped around the building, and you have to go embrace them out back near our locker room, and they're out there celebrating and getting ready to put on a show. They're ready to put on a show. And then when you let them in the building, they're already heckling the opposing team and the opposing coach. What a special environment it is.
It is.
Right? I mean, it's just like no other. I've spent time at NC State. We played in Reynolds, played in PNC, and this is by far better than that. No knock on NC State, but it gives me chills every time I walk out there. And the special part about it is that I feel like I'm very connected with our students. We communicate all the time on social media. I see them around campus. I know some of them by their first name. They welcome me when I come out. I feel very blessed. And our guys, they know how impressive and special our atmosphere is.
To have that relationship with the students, certain coaches have different beliefs on whether they're active or not, but you are. And it just feels like there's a connection between community and program, that your fans are very much a part of the program are very much a 6-man or a 12-man, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. And you know, when I took this job, Kevin Keats told me, he said, when the basketball program is doing well, the city does well, the city's on fire, and they're going to rally behind the program. And it's going to be kind of like we have a pro team in town. And that's exactly what it feels like. You know, I walk around Wilmington, and everybody knows who I am, and they're so excited about our program. They're so excited about the season coming up. You know, we're at about 2,300 season tickets sold. That's about 500 more than what we were last year at this time, and it's continuing to go up. So yes, our basketball program in the community is one, and everybody just embraces our program at a high level.
Let's go to January 20th. This past season, had the privilege of calling this game and of being in the house, and it was everything that is right about college basketball when you welcome in that other school in the league, a rivalry that is special. Charleston comes to town, and what a day, what an evening it was.
It was fun. It was fun. I'll just let it roll.
Yeah, this was a blast of a game, and there it is beforehand. They were out and about hours before.
Yep. They were. And excuse me right here, I almost fell off the stage, but I was so excited to get up there and embrace our students. But this is one of those times where I got here a little early and they were out there waiting on us. And yeah, right here is almost a fall.
Almost.
But we bounced back. We were resilient.
You got it.
We were resilient.
Little crispness in the air,
there we
too,
go.
on this day.
It was. It's about 40 degrees out there. At
didn't
that
matter
point.
to them.
Yeah. So that was exciting. And then they showed out when we got in there. Look at that crowd.
Oh, it was on fire. It really was a special building.
They you know, our fans, they take the Charleston rivalry pretty serious, as they should. And you know, a lot of respect, man. Pat Kelsey is amazing. You know, he's one. I actually, you know, I look up to him and the things that he's done, that he did with that program, special. So we try to emulate a lot of what they did. And yeah, man, we have a big-time home court advantage.
When you got the crowd going that wild, obviously they're on your side. But even in timeouts, are you having to raise your voice a little bit because of everybody just being on fire?
Yeah, but I'm used to that. The guys are used to it. I scoot them in a little tighter so I can
keep your voice in season.
I do. I know how to create that coach's voice to where I don't lose my voice. But yeah, man, it gets loud in there.
And rivalries are good for college basketball.
Very
and Charleston, you just said it. There's a lot of respect. Yes, is there dislike? Yeah, because you both want to win.
Right.
You want to win at a high level.
Right. No, it's definitely you know, this is a big rivalry for us, and it always has been.
There it is. That was a 3:30. This is the.
How about that?
Yeah, it's just amazing. This is what makes college basketball awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It does. The fan support. You know, the students. You know, I always wanted to create a better college experience for the students here, my players and the students, and hopefully I'm doing that.
This felt like a chess match, this game. Felt like you both knew so much about each other, but it was close the whole way.
Right. Right. We knew that it would go down to the wire, and when it came to winning time, we knew we were going to have to step up and make some plays because obviously they were going to. But we made a couple more plays than they did.
Nice pass from Phillips for the triple.
The thing you worried about with them is their pace.
Yes.
Their pace, and then their force on the offensive glass.
You know what comes to mind, though, as you're now giving them a taste of their own medicine by running the floor, is that when you play at Kentucky and you have to deal with their level of pace, you were more prepared, perhaps.
We were prepared. We talked about that a lot, actually. We gave them a dose of their own medicine. We punished them on the glass, and you know, we got out and ran, which we did that a lot more last year.
Averaging over 79 points per game.
Yep. And we want to be even faster this year.
You
But
do.
that's something that I watched them and studied them on film, and I say, you know, I want to play that fast.
Right.
You know.
Do you have to balance that pace with making sure you don't lose your defensive principles?
Yes, and that's it seems like you were in our staff meeting this morning, but
I promise I wasn't there. I was on the beach with Coach Woods.
yeah. I want both, John. I want both. I want to play fast, and I want to be very sound on the defensive end.
Yep.
And I don't see why we can't do both.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. At this point, a 3-point game. Nip and tuck, late first half. They're always moving.
Always moving. Always crashing the glass.
Shot. Yeah.
And we were going under. We were going under his pick and rolls because we wanted to dare him to shoot because he didn't shoot that much. But if you see, John, we wanted to stay in the middle of the court because we felt like their hedge defense was really good.
At this point, final seconds, that's pretty good defense.
Yep.
And it works out to your favor, but you're down by 5 at the break in this game.
Down by 5, and this young man, Jordan Crawford, we didn't expect him to do what he did. I want to say he hit 4 threes in the first half.
Yep.
We didn't expect that. So we were going under his pick and rolls, so we had to make an adjustment. They were killing us in the middle third of the floor. They would put Burcevic there, and he'd slip out of it. They'd hit him on a short roll, and it was really causing us problems. So we had to try to make some adjustments and try to go. We tried to go under the middle pick and roll. I don't know how much it helped, but I think it helped us at the right time.
Let's go in that second half here. Adjustments, certain things that you do. You're down 6 here, 2 minutes in, and just set this man up on an island.
Yeah, try to get a post touch. That was some of our best penetration is when we were able to post him up.
That's a pretty shot.
Yeah.
That's a pretty shot.
He stepped up big in this game. He was an X factor because he hadn't played well up to this point. As you see, we're trying to stay in the middle of the court.
Yep. Middle, and once he gets there, it's curtains.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
All day.
Yeah, you can't let Shy Time get downhill like that. He will end you.
Yeah, he'll hurt you right there. So nice UOB right here. Great screens.
Beautiful. At this point, you could feel the wave starting to turn a little bit. You could feel it starting to turn, but then look at them run.
Right. I was waiting, and they had every game. See that? He was an X factor. Every game they would have a drought, a scoring drought. And see that little short roll right there?
That's it.
That's what was hurting us.
And they ran that with him like bread and butter.
Yeah, and he was so good. He's so versatile. And they would confuse you right here because if you helped on the short roll with this guy, easy lay-in for the guy on the bottom. If you pull from this side, then it was short roll, hit, one more for a 3. So we had to pick our poison right here. And I mean, there's not a lot of big guys in the country that can do that.
No. He's going to make some money.
He is. I thought we were a little soft in the first half, John. I thought we finished soft around the rim. And we played stronger in the paint in the second half.
At this point, you're making shots, but can you rack some stops together?
Can we get some stops? All right, you see the adjustment we made? We were playing one-on-one in the post. Yep. Now we want to go shrink the floor and try to dig off of certain guys to make Burcevic pass it. Like I said, they created some steals for us. That ended up being a game-winning steal.
That was a big
later
moment.
on.
That was a big moment in the game. And again, you could feel it. And now the question was, are they going to be able to get over the hump and tie or take the lead?
Right.
Because Charleston kept on coming.
Oh, yeah.
That was
and we knew they would. Another offensive rebound that led to another offensive rebound. I think he made this one.
Yes, he did. 7-point game with just a little over 10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
But then,
stand in the middle of the court. A little Spain action right here. We were able to get downhill. If you see that finish, John, we were taking off in the first half. We were taking off from like right here.
Yep.
And what I told them in the locker room is that we were being soft. And so take another gather dribble, be powerful, get a little closer to the rim. It would increase our percentages, and that's what we did.
Jump stop, power drive, and you end up with that, and we're tied.
Tie game.
It was just 63-56. 9-2 run.
Yeah, you're battling back. I expected us to do that. Another power drive right there by Shaquem.
He's just, I mean, there's just not many players in the country that could do that.
If you didn't break his rhythm on his dribble and he was able to size you up,
good night.
Yeah, you couldn't stay in front of him.
This was such a great game. Atmosphere was constant.
I think they would admit this. We were a tough matchup for them. And us losing in the first round of the CAA tournament, I think they were happy with that. We were a tough matchup for them.
Well, then you know the power of this league because look at what Stony Brook gave them in the championship game.
I know.
He came that close. Gino Ford came that close.
Gino is he's one of the guys in the league that I respect too.
We're still waiting on a comedy show from him at some point.
him and Pat Scarry.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There you go. Nice.
Right in the middle.
Dunk down.
You'll see a lot more of that this year with him.
A lot more.
Yeah. So now we're 2 minutes left.
There's that drought.
Mm-hmm. That's the drought right there. And they were good for doing that.
They really they couldn't that was a terrific sequence. That's UNCW basketball.
That's the toughness right there, the competing. Right there, competing on the ball, sacrificing your body to get on the floor.
It doesn't look like it, but do you ever feel like a play like that it's a winning play, but it's a play that has a trickle effect,
Absolutely.
right? To
Absolutely.
other things.
Mm-hmm. And he'll have a breakout year as well, Nolan Hodge.
Nolan Hodge will have a breakout year.
He'll have a breakout year. Yeah, people, if they sleep on him, they're gonna get punished.
Watch out.
Yeah, they're gonna get punished. But another play right here, we were talking about digging off certain guys. This was the game deciding play right here.
Yep. Because if he waits another split second, an open man's on the baseline.
Yep. So we slowed him down, and now we're going to shot time.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah. Try to get a little ghost out right here, but we kind of screwed it up a little bit. But just move out of the way and let him go. As you can hear the crowd, if you can remember back the year before, I don't know if you remember that game, we had them in a very similar position.
Yep.
Okay? We hit a big three off of a scramble, loose ball. We hit a big three and we took the lead by 1 or 2. And I didn't call a timeout, and I almost did. And they raced it back down the floor, and Burcevich banged a 3. And he stopped the momentum right there.
Yep.
And it took the life out of us. It was about 2 minutes left when he did that. And so this time, when I woke up that morning, I said, if this happens again, I'm calling a freaking timeout.
Yep.
And so I didn't want them to race it back down the floor.
Yeah, that right there, one, lets that crowd go absolutely berserk and enjoy the moment, but 2, allows you to set your defense up.
Set our defense up. If we wanted to make any adjustments or if we knew what play they were going to run, we wanted to talk about that.
Did you know right here what they were trying to do?
Yeah, we were trying to do a little elevator over here, a little misdirection to maybe hit him on the elevator or rip drive it to the right, to the double gap.
Yep.
But we did a decent job of guarding that. Closed it all down.
Very nicely done. That's a tough shot.
And we talked about this. We knew when they shot, we were going to have to rebound.
Yep.
We were going to have to rebound, and our guys went to check out.
And it's never over against them.
Right. A little fire action. We knew they were going to run this. We had went over this and shoot around. A little fire action. A little hammer action on the backside. So we wanted to switch 1 through 5 on all of that.
Well covered.
And these are my 2 sophomores right here. That'll be juniors.
That?
Yeah.
That's, if they're doing that as sophomores, that's something you can get behind right there.
Absolutely.
Another tough shot.
How about that winning play?
And another winning play. Yeah, that's,
how about that?
That's hustle. That's UNCW basketball right there. And then you could taste it. You could feel it.
A little
bit.
We go. A little bit. When the buzzer went off is when I was going to be ready to celebrate.
Let that party begin. I have a feeling some of the local establishments around here did okay that night.
I think so. I think so. So, yeah, man, that was pretty special.
This is what you love.
I enjoyed them trying to storm the court, but what I told them is we should expect to do that. I don't want to storm the court on them. But let's enjoy it.
Yeah. Enjoy the moment. It was on national TV. It was just a terrific game to be a part of. And it makes you look forward to the future editions of this rivalry.
Absolutely. And this is what it's all about. A little water bath.
That's right.
That's something we like to do. We celebrate all of our wins.
It feels like the results of those 7 values that hang at the top of your locker room.
Yeah. Yeah, it's everything to us. It's our foundation. And, we don't just put it up everywhere and not talk about it. We try to talk about it every day.
Coach, your message to your fans ahead of 2024-25, what kind of team you think you've got and what you're looking for from them?
Well, I'll start with the second part of the question first. I expect them to be nothing short of amazing like they've always been. We always tell our guys to level up, and so I want you guys to try to level up as well. But with this team, this is the team that we envisioned having when I first took over the job. A team that's deep, a team that's very talented, a team that plays the right way. Team that's tough, competitive. We want to be extremely aggressive. We're going to press the entire game. We're going to play very up-tempo style and on offense. And I've always wanted a team, John, where it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. We want a team where we got 6 guys averaging double figures or right at it, and then 3 or 4 more that's, from 6 to 8. We want to have a complete, well-balanced team to where, when, some guys are having, off nights, we can survive and win the game. So very excited about this group.
72-29 the last 3 seasons, 39-15 in the Coastal Athletic Association the last 3 seasons. Takeo Siddle, love what you're doing here. Thanks for having me, and only thing missing was popcorn. Thanks for taking me to the movies.
Thank you, John.